This lesson is on translations. In number 1, it says we're going to translate the following figure 2 units to the right and 1 unit down. When you do a translation, basically you're taking every single point and just moving it in the direction that you've been told. So if I start with W and I move it 2 units to the right and 1 unit down, this is where my new image coordinate is going to be, or W prime. Then I'm going to take I, move it 2 units to the right, 1 unit down, and I'm going to call that I prime. We take L, move it 2 units to the right, 1 unit down. I'm going to call that L prime. And let's take B, move it 2 units to the right and 1 unit down, and we're going to call that B prime. Now if we go ahead and connect our points here, what you're actually going to see is 2 congruent images or figures, because whenever you do a translation, that is a rigid motion, which means it results in isometry. 2 congruent parts or 2 congruent figures. So when you're done with the translation, always double check and make sure that they look like they're the same size, same shape. Now, the second question says, what is the rule that represents this translation? Well, let's look at what we started with. We started with the figure W, L, B, I, and that started with X, comma, Y. That then changed to some prime letters here. So W prime, L prime, B prime, I prime, meaning that our pre-image went to an image. And let's look at how. When we go left or right, as it said here, that's going along the x-axis. And if you think about it, this said going 2 units to the right, and the numbers to the right would be positive. So it's like saying we're taking x plus the 2 units. That makes it go to the right. With the y goes up and down, and we went 1 unit down. If you think about going down along the y-axis, you're going towards the negative numbers. So it's like saying we have y minus that 1 unit down. Then it says, what is B prime? Well, all you have to do is look at your graph now. So if we start here at 0, 0, because that's where we always want to start and count, we notice that B prime's on the x-axis here, or the y-axis, and so we have 0, comma. Now let's figure out what that y value is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0, negative 4 is where my B prime is going to be. Those problems are a little different than the ones on this side here, where we're just given information but no graph. Number 4 says, if we have the following rule, we're going to describe the transformation. Well, we automatically know it's a translation because if you can see X and Y have some numbers that are either added or subtracted from them. That makes it go in a slide or a translation. So the first thing I know is that we are dealing with a translation. But the second thing is we want to be specific. Remember that X goes along the x-axis, so we're going left or right. And when we see that minus 2, we're thinking about going to the left where those negative numbers are. So we are going left 2 units. Now let's look at that y. That y means we're going up or down. When we go up or down, that means that we want to think about this. Okay, this says plus 5. What kind of numbers are up? Positive numbers. So we're going left 2 units, and then we're going up 5 units. On number 5, it says, if we've been given the specific coordinate, 3, negative 5, what would M prime be if we use that rule? Well, you have 2 options here. You can graph this, and then you can go left 2 units, up 5 units, or we can just plug it in. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take M, which is at 3, negative 5, and we're going to plug it into the rule to find M prime. To do that, we want to plug in our x. Now, x is 3 here, so the 3 is going in place of this x, so 3 minus that 2. The y, the negative 5, y is going to be negative 5 right here. So we had that y is negative 5, and then we're supposed to add 5. So what we get as our result for M prime is 3 minus 2, which is 1, and negative 5 plus 5, which is 0. So this is going to be the ordered pair that represents M prime. On number 6, we're going backwards because if we're using this rule to produce M prime, that's the image coordinate, we're trying to go backwards here. Well, one way you can do this, if you think about going backwards, we're really doing the inverse operation. So instead of going left 2 units or subtracting 2 units, to go backwards, we want to add 2 units to the x. Instead of going up 5 units, we really want to go down 5 units, so we're really subtracting 5 from the y. So you take that x plus 2 and the y minus 5 to go backwards. So let's start with that 7, 0, and from here we are going to add 2, that makes this 9. And from 0, we're going to subtract 5. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. So in theory, M, the pre-image, should be at 9, negative 5. Let's check it out though. If M, the pre-image, is at 9, negative 5, if I subtract 9 minus 2, do I get 7? Yes. And then if I put in this negative 5 for the y, negative 5 plus 5 is 0. Is that what I get over here in the image? Yes. So I know that this is going to be the ordered pair for my pre-image in this particular case.